imagine that we only spoke one language in the world. It could be English, it could be any language. Now, imagine the same thought in context to music. Like, what would it be if we only had one style of music? Or what would it be if we only had one type of instrument? It would all be sort of the same. And thankfully, that's not the real world, nor is it how samples work. For example, with saxophones, we have more classical saxophones, we have more jazzy kind of saxophones. And in this case here, we have our Fire Saxophone, which is more of a pop, Latin style inspired saxophone. I just say that because in Soundpaint we offer a multitude of different saxophones, each designed to cover sort of their own aspects of music. For example, our soprano saxophone really has that sort of Kenny G vibe to it. But in the case here of our Fire Saxophone, it's much more pop, Latin kind of inspired. It's not always as pitch perfect as you would see with a classical saxophone, sort of in traditional jazz. It has a little more bubbly liveliness to it. So without further ado, let's get into our 1992 Fire Saxophone. Now, the most obvious question, of course, is like, well, I want to hear that with legato for both the trumpets and the trombones and the saxophones. Here we go. You hear the bubbliness? I mean, this last chord here. So cool. That's what I talk about with the fire in the library. You can just hear the trumpet burn here, the trombone giving the warmth, the saxophone with its breathiness, just like. And then straight into legato for solo. This legato is also velocity-based, so it's not just that we're playing 3 different instruments with legato, it's also we have velocity-based legato. So depending on how hard I hit the keys, I get different kind of legatos. Soft, when I play soft, more sort of rolls, and when I play harder, I get more sort of defined legato, tight. So much stuff going on here in the keys. What a beautiful labyrinth of technology happening behind the scenes, but for me, just completely playing it like a piano. And it's so cool. I mean, I'm playing stuff here that's not even in the realm of this sort of style of music, and I'm having so much fun. I can really play anything I want. The sweet delight of hyperacoustic legato technology right at my fingertips, just becoming the player. You can hear it's very bubbly, it's very alive. You can hear the player, the valves, the small natural imperfections as you get in a more sort of lively style of music. This is really a rhythmic instrument, designed to be played fast as well, in chords as well, just this beautiful ensemble. There's something to be said about our H.A.L, our hyperacoustic technology, just the fun and ease of being able to play chords and melodies and all that together. It's just so easy. I don't know, sort of have a reggae vibe to it. It's like pretty mellow. That last part here really for me has an Ennio Morricone style to it. There we go. Right? I gotta say, maybe it's just me, but to me this actually sounds better than the harmonica in the real sort of Ennio Morricone sense. I'm normally allergic to samples that are kind of stiff, but if you listen to a lot of that sort of style that uses those very repeated kind of riffs, they always use it with that sort of little bit harsh samples. I mean, we got multi-samples going on here, but you can hear it's a computer. I'm sorry, you know, that should not be happening at all. Here's one of Nicolas Simrad's like signature patches. I'm gonna hope I don't butcher him too much. Using legato as well. I love that fuzz down here. When I say down here, it's just because down here in the mod wheel, I'm almost at the bottom here, and it gives sort of this fuzz. He's using what I think is a bit compressor or a bit crusher, just to give a little more of a sort of electric fuzz. But it sounds kind of like the fizzle you get in an air pipe. So sweet. Love it. It's super cool. When I move the mod wheel up here, it almost becomes sort of very otherworldly. If I'm very much more local here. And a specific shout out to 2 other libraries in the Soundpaint collection. These are also within our Fire series. So we have a Fire trumpet, a Fire saxophone, and a Fire trombone. Let me just take this drop here and try to show you what the other ones sound like as well. They have symmetrical articulation, so you can take both a trumpet, a saxophone, and a trombone with the same articulations and build up that sort of trio that you want for like full brass. So we're just gonna take the drop here from the trombone and the drop here from the trumpet as well. And now we have the perfect brass trio dropping. Frulato to me is best described as like a vulgar kind of sound. It's sort of porno. If you know what I mean, like 70s kind of style. Or dirty at least. If you notice down here on the racks on speed here, you'll notice that I'm controlling the speed with my mod wheel here. So I can go from that very sort of grunty. And then I can slowly speed it up here. Or the opposite way. It's so organic. It's hard to describe. I wish I could just like throw it on your computer right now so you could feel what it is. But it feels like I'm actually performing this strange Frulato thing out of my mouth. That's how great the control feels in the keys. And then you hear like a little bit of sort of like paper sound or something. Just in case you need glizzes. Here's an organ. Now, for me at least, with conventional libraries, when I see a sustain, I think, okay, I'm sort of down to what I can do with pads. But in Soundpaint, we can do more with that kind of material. For example, these sustains have vibrato, but I can freely control the speed of the natural vibrato on the mod wheel. It's so delightful because you can really shape the tone, the color more to your composition. I can go faster. A very nervous saxophone player. Or we can go slower. Wow. We're back to that sort of Morricone thing. Let me take the pitch shift here on the shimmer down to 0 so we don't get that sort of more high air metallic shine. Who would have known that inside of a Fire saxophone would be such beauty and eerie and surprising and magical kind of sounds? I mean, this one to me, this does not sound like a saxophone. Maybe a little bit like Fire saxophone. It almost has an alarm-like quality to it. See you in the next one.